invitation to speak at the 2023 Pollinator Power Party. USDA recognizes the tremendous amount of research and conservation efforts of EPRI and its partners in supporting pollinators and other ecosystem services on lands generating and transmitting electricity. Pollinators seem like a pretty good excuse for a party to me, so I'm happy to join you. U.S. agriculture depends on pollinators, so USDA has deep interest in pollinator research and conservation, and the relationship between our nation's pollinators and our farmers, ranchers, and forest owners. Agencies across USDA are addressing pollinators. We're coordinating pollinator research priorities across the department, looking for ways to support both managed and wild pollinators, and working to balance the needs across diverse stakeholder groups, such as agriculture, beekeepers, and conservation groups. And there's good reason for this level of investment. Pollinators are threatened by loss of forage, habitat, and nutrition, heightened environmental stress through climate change and other factors, pests and pathogens, and other threats still. Climate change presents significant challenges. USDA's 2021 Action Plan for Climate Adaptation and Resilience notes the threat of climate change to pollinators from shifting ranges of pollinator plants. But there are also significant conservation and economic benefits to be had if we conserve pollinator habitat as part of addressing climate change. Benefits like carbon sequestration, native plant conservation, clean water, and vibrant farms, ranches, and forests. When it comes to research, USDA currently has more than 200 ongoing projects funded by USDA or conducted by USDA scientists. Let me offer a few highlights from our research, education, and economics mission area. USDA's National Institute of Food and Agriculture supported new research out of Penn State that demonstrates that climatic stress negatively impacts wild bee populations. USDA's ARS, in partnership with Auburn University, had similar findings on the impacts of extreme weather on honeybees. We're also excited about a newly established ARS Grand Challenge, creating pollinator landscapes and overwintering practices to increase pollinator populations in a changing climate. This highly collaborative project addresses challenges from heat waves, drought, fire, and shifting seasonal temperature profiles on the composition and nutritional value of landscapes planted to sustain pollinators. The U.S. Forest Service is getting in on the game too, both through research and conservation. For example, Forest Service is conducting research in the central U.S. and the Pacific Northwest on the rehabilitation of log landings in working forests to favor pollinator habitat. And in Virginia and West Virginia, the Forest Service is working with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to finalize a 3 million acre restoration and recovery strategy for the endangered rusty-patched bumblebee. And my team in USDA's Farm Production and Conservation Mission area is also making a major contribution. The Farm Services Agency's 27 million acre Conservation Reserve Program retires marginal agricultural lands by planting grasses and trees. In addition, native seed mixes and conservation practices directed specifically at pollinators produce substantial benefits. And NRCS's conservation programs, including our efforts to conserve habitat on working lands through our Working Lands for Wildlife program, have enormous benefits for pollinators. In addition, NRCS, the Xerces Society, and EPRI are building a third-party Be Better certification for the power industry to deliver high-quality pollinator habitat on utility rights-of-ways and integrate pollinator prescriptions with solar panel installations. NRCS is also partnering with the Understory Initiative to explore methods for establishing native pollinator plantings under and alongside solar arrays. I also want to acknowledge our partnership with EPRI via USDA's Office of Environmental Markets, which has significantly contributed to our understanding of pollinator health on rights-of-way lands over the years. So you can see there's a lot of pollinator work going on here at USDA. It's only possible thanks to partnerships with folks in agriculture, forestry, conservation, academia, and business. We look forward to finding new ways to work together. Thanks.